boy emerges from a forest with no memories, no name, no home, no identity. But the strangest thing is that he doesn't even have a navel on his stomach, and he never sleeps. Who is this boy? Is he part of some experiment, or a mystery that was hidden from the world? Today, we bring you an intense science fiction mystery that becomes more intriguing with every episode. The story begins with a naked boy lying in the middle of a forest, drenched in a strange liquid. At first glance, it looks like some kind of prank by college students, but the truth is something else entirely. The boy has not only forgotten who he is, but he doesn't even know where he is. After wandering for a while, he starts moving toward the city, hoping someone there might help him. But there's a big problem. He is completely naked. Everything looks new to him, as if he's seeing the world for the very first time. As he walks forward, shocking people around him, the police soon arrive. He is arrested and taken to a detention center for roaming the streets naked and committing public indecency. The boy doesn't know his name, nor does he understand what the police are saying. The officers give him a name, Kyle. Kyle is taken for a medical checkup, and during the examination, two strange things come to light. First, his body is absolutely perfect, no wrinkles, no pimples, nothing at all. Second, and most shocking, he has no navel. Even the doctor on duty is stunned. While waiting for his test reports, Kyle is sent to the dining hall. There, he watches the other boys eat and tries to imitate them, as if he has no idea how eating works. He copies one boy's actions, but that boy thinks Kyle is mocking him and gets angry. The situation escalates, and a fight breaks out. Later, when all the boys are in the yard, the same boy punches Kyle hard in the face. Kyle falls to the ground, and moments later his pants are soaked. Seeing his strange behavior, the guards don't know how to handle him, and call the center's psychiatrist, Nicole, to question Kyle and understand what is really going on. Kyle is strange but completely innocent. He doesn't understand the ways of the world or social norms, yet whatever he does shows a natural talent. Nicole asks him to draw something, and Kyle produces a perfectly detailed sketch, like a printer. It shows two people he had seen in the forest, standing very close to each other, perhaps lovers who wanted to be alone. Kyle's behavior remains calm, with no signs of aggression. Because of this, Nicole decides to take him to her home so she can run more tests and understand what happened to him. She suspects Kyle has gone through a major trauma, which might be why he remembers nothing. Kyle's past is a huge mystery. Perhaps his mind has erased all his old memories. At Nicole's house, Lori is shocked to see Kyle. She steps out after a shower, wrapped in a towel, and freezes upon seeing a strange man in front of her. Both remain silent for a moment. Kyle seems lost in another world, while Lori doesn't pay much attention as her mind is focused on meeting her boyfriend. After some time, Kyle goes outside and notices a butterfly. Without thinking, he follows it. Soon, he hears sweet music coming from a neighboring house. When he goes inside, he meets a girl named Amanda. As soon as Kyle hears her music, tears start flowing from his eyes. He doesn't understand why, but he's unable to move. When Amanda turns around and sees his frightened face, Kyle panics and runs back, hiding in the bathroom bathtub. Meanwhile, Lori's brother Josh enters the bathroom with an adult magazine, enjoying the pictures, completely unaware that another man is hiding in the bathtub. When Josh finally notices Kyle, he screams and runs straight to his mother, leaving the magazine behind in his panic. After scolding Josh, Nicole hears the doorbell ring. When she opens the door, Amanda's mother, Carol, is standing there, furious and demanding answers for what happened earlier. Carol had come with her daughter in the morning to confront Kyle. When she asks him to tell the truth, Amanda and Kyle exchange a strange, affectionate look. To prevent the situation from escalating, Carol leaves and Amanda returns to her room. That night, when Stephen comes home, Nicole introduces Kyle to him and explains that he will be staying with them for a few days. During dinner, something strange and shocking happens. Kyle speaks for the first time, but the words that come out of his mouth are rude, exactly like the ones he heard from the boys at the detention center. Without thinking, he starts repeating the same words Lori had been saying on the phone to her boyfriend. The entire house falls silent. Everyone is stunned when they realize that Lori was planning to run away with her boyfriend without her parents' consent. Although Nicole's children are still angry with Kyle, the night ends without any further incident. The next morning, Nicole takes Kyle to her office so she can continue his counseling. Josh takes the opportunity to hand Kyle a list of questions he had for school. When Kyle solves every single question effortlessly and gives all the correct answers, both Josh and Nicole are shocked. It now becomes clear that Kyle is neither foolish nor lacking intelligence. Rather, there is something far deeper behind his strange behavior. A deeper secret is hidden behind everything. When Kyle's IQ test results arrive, everyone is left stunned. His score is 400. Shocked by this, the doctors decide to run more tests. When Kyle undergoes an MRI scan, they discover that his brain is far more developed than that of a normal human. His brain activity is so intense that it raises an impossible question. Could he be an alien or some kind of human robot? That night, Nicole brings Kyle back home and asks him to share a room with Josh. Josh hates the idea, but complaining would only increase his punishment. In the middle of the night, while everyone is asleep, Kyle hears a door opening. He sees Lori sneaking out of the house. Curious, Kyle follows her and watches as she arrives at a party. Seeing the wild atmosphere, Kyle gets swept up in it and soon becomes drunk. Because he has no sense of shame, he vomits from drinking too much but continues partying without any concern. Suddenly, the police arrive. An officer tries to take Lori away, but Kyle steps in. His face changes strangely, and he starts making a snake-like sound. People laugh at first, but when the officer tries to grab him, Kyle instantly dodges. The officer angrily pulls out his baton to teach Kyle a lesson, but Kyle not only avoids every strike, he humiliates the officer so badly that the crowd bursts into applause. Unable to bear the embarrassment, the officer gives up and leaves. That night, Kyle safely brings Lori back home. The next day, he tries to make up for his mistakes and slowly starts winning the family's trust. First, he repairs Stephen's computer and recovers important documents Stephen had lost months ago. Then he cleans Josh's room and even brings him a new magazine he likes. Through these small acts, Kyle gradually wins everyone's affection. Seeing this, Nicole begins to think she could temporarily adopt Kyle until the truth about his past is revealed. But something remains strange. Kyle never sleeps. His behavior grows even more unusual. Night after night, he practices karate without rest or fatigue. Even stranger, he eats anything he can get his hands on, raw or cooked, without hesitation. One day, while Kyle is in the yard, a man in a van starts watching him. At first, Kyle ignores it, but soon he begins seeing the same man everywhere. It becomes clear that someone is keeping an eye on him. A few days later, Nicole takes Kyle to another doctor. As soon as the doctor reviews the reports, he is shocked. Kyle's body appears brand new, as if it has never suffered a single injury. His teeth are perfect, no cavities, no damage. Most astonishing of all, his brain activity is many times higher than that of a normal human. The doctor has no explanation. That night, doctors give Kyle sleeping pills so he can finally rest, but this only reveals another hidden truth. Even after taking the pills, Kyle remains awake all night. This time, he isn't in his room but standing in the yard, silently staring at the stars. Stephen assumes Kyle simply has excess energy that needs to be burned off, so he decides to take him running. Stephen used to be a runner himself and believes he can tire Kyle out, but the plan backfires. Kyle runs like an Olympic athlete, and in the end it is Stephen, not Kyle, who gets exhausted. Frustrated and angry, Stephen returns home and argues with Nicole. He says Kyle is not human and should be sent back to wherever he came from. Kyle hears these words himself. His heart breaks, and without telling anyone, he runs away. Stephen searches everywhere for him but can't find Kyle. The police are called, but they say nothing can be done until 24 hours have passed. That night, Nicole finds some drawings Kyle made on the table beside our bed. One of the drawings shows a place she recognizes. Without wasting time, Nicole and Stephen grab flashlights and head into the woods. Eventually, they find Kyle there, at the same spot, standing the same way, gazing at the stars as if remembering his true home. After returning home, Stephen admits his mistake and apologizes to Kyle. He offers him a warm bath. Around this time, Kyle hears a radio for the first time, and the strange white noise between the signals deeply affects him. The next day, the story takes a dark turn. Nicole receives a call from the police. They inform her that a human skeleton has been found near the place where Kyle was discovered. Nicole is shocked. The police warn her that Kyle could be a murderer and should be treated with caution. Agent Taylor explains that the bones show signs of exposure to a fast-burning substance, meaning the death is recent. Some skin samples were also found and are being analyzed. Taylor wants to interrogate Kyle immediately, but Nicole manages to delay it, at least until Kyle wakes up. The next morning, as soon as Kyle wakes up, he tries to watch TV, but the antenna isn't working. Without hesitation, he climbs onto the roof and repairs it. As he comes back down, he suddenly jumps off the roof. Amanda witnesses everything with her own eyes. Terrified, she assumes Kyle must be badly injured. Her shock distracts her, causing her to lose control of her car, which crashes into a large trash container. At that moment, Kyle appears in front of her, completely unharmed. Amanda is even more stunned because she clearly saw him fall from a great height, yet he doesn't have a single scratch. Carol, who already dislikes Kyle, becomes furious. To her, the damage to the car is the real issue. In anger, she threatens Amanda with taking away her driving license. Kyle steps forward and takes all the blame upon himself. This only enrages Carol further, and she screams, "Stay away from my daughter!" That night, Stephen returns home and asks Nicole to talk in private. He tells her that the police revealed another shocking detail. The same day Kyle was found, a man went missing. This makes Nicole and Stephen even more anxious, but they don't know that someone else is listening to their conversation. The same man who has been following Kyle all day, secretly monitoring them through a remote microphone. The next morning, while cleaning the boys' room, Nicole finds more of Kyle's drawings. These drawings follow a specific pattern. When she studies them closely and pieces them together, she sees a symbol, the same symbol that was found at the crime scene. Now it becomes clear that Kyle was present at the scene, and it's possible he has a direct connection to what happened. On the other hand, Amanda takes up a job as a lifeguard. Kyle, who has started liking her, comes up with a plan to jump into the swimming pool so that Amanda can rescue him and notice him. However, a small mistake turns the plan into a disaster. People start laughing at him, and the moment turns into a huge embarrassment. That same evening, Amanda visits Nicole's house to check if Kyle is okay. Nicole lets her in, but when Amanda goes to Kyle's room, she realizes he isn't there. At that moment, she notices all the drawings Kyle has made of her. Seeing them, she begins to feel that Kyle might be a little too obsessed with her. The next day, Amanda sees Kyle at the pool again. This time, he asks her for help in learning how to swim. After getting a few basic tips, Kyle starts swimming in a way that shocks everyone, like Aquaman himself. Amanda is stunned. From that moment on, she invites Kyle to spend time together whenever her parents aren't home. When they reach her house, Amanda takes out some drawings made by her father, who passed away recently. Surprisingly, his drawings look very similar to Kyle. Sketches. This is the real reason Amanda invited him over. Later, Kyle decides to create a beautiful gift for Amanda. Combining his own art style with her father's, he creates an incredible portrait. Now, all he needs is the courage to give it to her. That evening, at a party where Kyle plans to meet Amanda, everything falls apart. Amanda arrives with her boyfriend, Charlie. For Kyle, this is a huge shock. His carefully planned moment and his unspoken feelings are completely crushed. He returns home heartbroken, thinking about only one thing: who he really is and why the only memories he has are of the forest and the stars. The next day, Nicole tells Kyle that she has invited a friend who will try to access his memories through hypnosis. Kyle agrees and the session begins during hypnosis. Kyle's mind returns to that night in the forest. There, he sees the same man who has been following him all along. The man is fighting with another person, and suddenly he shoots him and runs away. Kyle calls out his name, Tom Foss. Hearing this name, Nicole is stunned. She remembers hearing it at the police station. Tom Foss is a new officer who arrived in the city only a few days ago. This revelation raises even more questions. Nicole asks Kyle to draw what he saw. Without any hesitation, Kyle creates a perfect portrait, clearly revealing the man's face. A few days later, that same face appears in the newspaper. The man is identified as Feldman, a university professor and an expert in human memory. Now it is confirmed. The bones found in the forest belonged to Feldman. The question remains, what was Feldman's connection to Kyle? To find answers, Kyle decides to go to the university. There, a massive shock awaits him. As soon as Kyle sees a photograph showing Feldman's students, his mind is shaken. In that photo stands a boy who looks exactly like him. It is Kyle himself, W. Hen Feldman's assistant, Holly, is questioned. She claims she doesn't remember Kyle at all. She says she worked with a professor for years but never saw him. Kyle shows her the photo. Although confused, Holly agrees to conduct memory tests on Kyle. Another shocking truth emerges. Kyle scores 100% on every test. Holly is stunned. She explains that Feldman's research was about breaking the limits of the human brain. Humans use only 10% of their brain, but Feldman wanted to prove what would happen if the entire brain could be activated. It becomes clear Kyle is living proof of this research, and that may be the reason Feldman was killed. Holly takes them to Feldman's widow, who allows them to look through his old documents. There, Kyle and Lori make another disturbing discovery: drawings featuring the same mysterious symbol found at the crime scene. In addition, they notice a number repeated again and again. They suspect these numbers are coordinates. They begin researching online to find out what location the coordinates represent. At that moment, Stephen calls, worried about where they are. Lori asks her father to investigate the coordinates. Minutes later, Stephen calls back with shocking news. The coordinates lead to a government facility under military control. This is no ordinary place. It's a highly secret, heavily guarded installation. To uncover the truth, Kyle reaches the edge of the facility with the help of Feldman's former student, Deck. From there, Kyle decides to go in alone. He jumps over the security fence. A masked man attacks him, but Kyle's nightly karate practice finally pays off. He defends himself and pulls off the man's mask. The face beneath shocks him. It's the same man he saw before. Kyle remembers that this man was present the night the shots were fired. Tom Foss, who appeared to be an ordinary man, is something else entirely. Tom warns Kyle that if he wants to stay alive, he must trust him. Tom Foss is no ordinary human. He warns Kyle that if he continues searching for his past, his new family's lives will be in danger. Every step toward the truth will bring death closer to the people he loves. Before leaving, Tom gives one final warning. If Kyle doesn't stop, his entire family will be wiped out. At that moment, Kyle decides to listen. He runs away and chooses to end his search. But it's already too late. Government cameras have captured him. An agent refers to him as Project X. When Nicole returns home, she immediately decides to take Kyle to the hospital to treat his injuries. But at the hospital, an unknown couple arrives, claiming to be Kyle's real parents. They say they've come to take their son home. They present photos, documents, and evidence. A DNA test even confirms that they are Kyle's biological parents. Still, something feels wrong to Kyle. He refuses to leave Nicole and his new family. That night, Kyle meets Tom Foss again, demanding the truth. Why did these people appear now? Are they the same ones Tom warned him about? Tom doesn't dodge the question. He admits the truth. Yes, they are the same people. They can easily manipulate DNA evidence. However, Tom says that if Kyle truly wants the truth, they must go somewhere safe. Before they can leave, a gunshot rings out. Kyle dodges the bullet with lightning-fast reflexes, but it hits Tom in the shoulder. Now both of them must run. A sniper keeps firing at them. Barely escaping, they reach a safe location. There, Tom finally reveals the full truth, but the story keeps the suspense alive, and we don't hear it yet. The next morning, Kyle returns home and meets his so-called biological parents. He says something shocking. "I remember everything now. I know you're telling the truth." To everyone's disbelief, Kyle agrees to go with them. Kyle says goodbye to his adoptive family and leaves with his biological parents. But soon, the truth is revealed. These people are actually actors hired by Tom. They are heading toward a secret operations center where Kyle is about to learn everything. There, Kyle meets Adam, who drops the ultimate bombshell. "You are a clone." Kyle is completely stunned. Adam explains that Professor Feldman developed a technology to enhance human capabilities. He sold this technology to the government, turning it into a weapon. This sparked a silent war. Adam then reveals an even bigger truth. Kyle is Adam's clone. Adam is a billionaire searching for a way to live forever and push humanity beyond its limits. Now he's at war with the government. The biggest shock of all, Kyle is not the only experiment. Project XX, the original model, his father, is still in government custody. The final phase is nearly complete, and more perfected clones are being created, ready to ignite a war for control of this technology. Amid all this chaos, Kyle is sent on a new mission. He is no longer just an experiment. He becomes a team leader under Adam's command. And with that, Season 1 comes to an end.